Hi there, I'm Mike from Greenway Electric. Well, today I wanted to talk about some common failures that are occurring in older electric vehicles. And now that some of the older vehicles are out of warranty, some customers and users of these vehicles are going in for service and finding out there's a problem and it's going to cost a lot of money to fix. So, most of the newer electric vehicles have about an 8-year warranty on major components like the battery and the motor. So for cars that are 2017 and newer, you're likely still to have manufacturer's warranty on them, so you're not being hit with these large repair bills. But for cars 2016 and earlier, potentially you might see a bill, or maybe you've come upon this video because you're looking for a cheaper way to solve the problem you have with your vehicle. So I'm going to specifically talk in this video about the Tesla Model S and the Nissan Leaf. And the reason I choose those cars is back in those days, in 2016 and earlier, those are the two most commonly sold electric vehicles in North America. After 2017 and more recently, there's been a lot more different models available, but but in those early days, Model S, Tesla, and Nissan Leaf were the most common electric vehicles around. There was a few others, but I'll go into those. So if you're here for information about the Nissan Leaf, just skip ahead to this time code in the video, and because first I'll be talking here about the Tesla Model S. So the first thing I wanted to say about the Tesla Model S is there's a couple of different main failures that you'll see on those vehicles, potentially with large repair bills. And I'm talking about the battery and or the motor. So if you're experiencing in your Model S a problem with it going into limp mode, it says that power has been reduced and it's only allowing you to charge it up at 8 amps. That could mean that there's a problem in the battery, and maybe you took it to Tesla and they diagnosed it and they said you need a brand new battery, and then there's a $20,000 bill attached to that. And you said, well, I don't want to spend $20,000 to fix my car, which is now more than 8 years old, and that's perfectly understandable. But, the whole battery is not failing. There's likely one or two tiny components in the battery that are causing some trouble. It could be an individual cell that's failing, perhaps, and there's thousands of cells in those batteries. Or it could be a sensor in the battery. The battery is made up of different modules and different groups of modules, and there's something called a BMB, or battery module board, which controls different aspects of the battery. It could be one of those BMB boards that's failing or has failed, and those are just small circuit boards. And there's about a dozen or more, depending on your configuration of your battery. There could be 14 or 16 or some other number of those in your battery. And that could be failing. So if you're in this limp situation, what's happening is your car is likely getting some faulty readings from one of these boards, or there's a cell that's failing and it's getting a correct reading, and it doesn't want to risk overcharging or undercharging the battery too much, so it puts it into limp mode so you can at least move the car. But what you can do in that situation, actually, sorry, there's one more symptom that you might run into with the battery, and that is you might have the car just completely shut down, and it just says, sorry, you can't drive it anymore. And that could be what's called an isolation failure, which means that the battery voltage is leaking to ground. So there's some short in the battery somehow, which maybe sounds bad, but likely what's happened is there's some contamination, or maybe some cell has degraded and it's causing some leakage, which is allowing it to leak some of the voltage to ground. So it's simply a safety issue that's going on. Well, simply, but it is a safety issue. So likely, though, 99% of your battery is still functioning properly, but this one little thing that's going on with it is causing a problem. So When you take it to Tesla, they do not take the battery out, fix your battery, and put your battery back in at the repair centers, at their service centers. They will offer you a battery replacement, which is where that $20,000 bill comes in. So what you should do instead of that is, as another option, is there are now some independent shops that are popping up around the country, and there's going to be more of them if you're in a more populated area. If you are in Southern California, there's likely numerous options for you. But if you're in a very rural or remote area, there's going to be very few to none to no options for you. But you should do a search and see if there's a independent shop around who are doing these repairs. These repairs would mean that they will need to lift the car up onto their lift. They'll need to remove the battery, which is located on the bottom of the car, and take it apart and take the case off of it and diagnose and inspect the battery. Now, you can try this yourself too. There's videos on YouTube where people do this, and you could try to learn it yourself. I just caution you that it can be very, very dangerous. If you're not technical or mechanical in any way, I would certainly not try it. But there are videos out there showing you what it is, but you might want to look at them and see what the issues are. And these independent shops will be able to look at your battery, diagnose it, and repair the problem, likely for a fraction of the cost. So that's really my point of this video here, is to say there are other options other than just having Tesla to do the repair, now that a lot more of these cars are getting out of warranty. Because when they were in warranty, there was no shop that was going to be doing this repair if you could get a free repair at Tesla. So this is, in the past few years, there's starting to be more of these shops available. Another option to do a little bit of your own diagnosis on your Tesla would be to use a software package called Scan My Tesla, which you can do a Google search on and download and learn how to operate that yourself. And it will give you some further information on the car itself that may help you in understanding the type of issue you're running into. So let's keep talking about the Tesla. So if you have a Tesla that is a Model S or an X, and it's anytime between up to 2020, what it would have in the rear of the car is something called a large drive unit, or LDU. And this has a design flaw, a known failure, that it seems like all of them will eventually fail. And what will happen is a seal on the motor will leak coolant into the motor, which will first potentially cause damage to the motor itself. And attached directly to the motor is something called the inverter, which is basically a bunch of electronics. So you're getting coolant, liquid, into your motor and or your inverter, which in the long term will cause damage, and it could eventually lead to complete failure of the unit. So if you're hearing any kind of grinding noise or milling noise when you're driving your car, that could be a preliminary warning that it's happening. For others, they don't get any warning and the car just one day just stops driving. So if you do have one of these cars, I would highly recommend you seeking out one of these independent shops to take a look. Again, if you take it into Tesla, what they will do is they'll tell you need a new drive unit, and that's going to cost you $8,000, $10,000, something along those lines, which again is very expensive for your car now that's 8, 10, 12 years old. Seek out one of these shops. They can install a bypass coolant. They call it a coolant bypass manifold, and it will reroute the coolant, and it will prevent essentially this failure from happening. Now they'll also be able to, or they should, inspect your motor and your inverter as well to see if there's already some damage. They can be repaired if the damage is not too great, and save you a bundle of money by simply repairing what you have, installing this bypass to prevent this failure from occurring fully in the future, and you'll prevent yourself from eventually having to completely replace your drive unit. If you never have this inspected, maybe there are drive units out there that will never fail, maybe, but it sounds like a large number of them are failing now. So it's good to have this inspected by one of those independent shops. And I don't have one to recommend to you because I don't live where you live, so it's going to be better for you to check out something in your area. And you may have a few choices, again, if you're in a really populated area, or you may not have very many choices depending on where you are. You might need to ship your car, or if it's driving still, you might need to drive your car somewhere. All right, so that's all about Tesla. Now, let's switch over to Nissan Leaf, which again was, up until about 2017, was the world's best-selling electric car until Tesla surpassed them at that time. So with the Leaf, there's a few different problems it can have. The electric motor in it actually has been extremely reliable. I've never heard of a single failure for the electric motor, which is good news. But on the battery pack side, that's where there's some areas where could use improvement. And if you live in a hot climate, you may be aware that the Leaf battery does not have any active cooling. So there's a chance that it could degrade faster. So there's a few types of failures it could have. There's first simply the reduction in capacity, and that's going to happen to all electric vehicle batteries as time passes. With the Leaf, in a hot climate, it can happen more rapidly. Now there are these independent shops that sorry, let me skip back. If you take it to Nissan and you ask them for a replacement battery, they're going to either look at you and say, we don't do that, or they might find a price that is outrageous and, $15,000, $20,000. And you're going to say, well, no, I'm not going to spend that money on that car. So again, I would search out these independent shops that may have the option to either swap out your battery with a newer battery or a larger battery. And there's certainly they can do that. And you put in a used battery from a newer vehicle, perhaps a vehicle that was an insurance write-off, and they can get it for a more reduced price and upgrade your existing vehicle to have more capacity. That's one thing, that's the capacity issue, but there's a couple of other failures that can happen with the Leaf as well. You could get something called an isolation failure, which will cause the car to shut down and not drive. And similar to the Tesla, what that is it's basically a leak of voltage from the battery to ground that the car has detected, and for safety it is shutting down the car. This means that there's likely one of the battery cells that's leaking, and that leakage of that liquid is allowing some of the voltage to flow to ground, which can be a dangerous situation. So there's some damage to one or more of the cells, likely one or two, and the 95% of the battery is likely still good, but there's one or two cells that needs to be replaced. And Nissan will, replace the entire battery at a great cost. These smaller shops can remove your battery, inspect it, determine which cell is leaking or which cells, and then simply replace those cells and put the car back together, and your cost will be significantly reduced. The other thing that might happen is if you're experiencing a rapid decline in your charge level. For example, if you're accelerating and then you were at 90% state of charge, and then the battery rapidly declines to 70 to 50 to 20 to 10, and you go even maybe into turtle mode, which is warning you the battery is very low on power. But then you come up to a stop, and then your battery charge sort of miraculously reappears again on your screen. If this kind of thing occurs, especially in cold weather, very cold weather, or if you're going up a hill or under a load, that probably means that there's a weak cell or several weak cells in your car. And what's happening is when you're putting a heavy load on them, or the battery is really cold, that's when it's stressing the cells more, and it's causing the battery management system to report that you have lower percentage of charge than you really do, but those weak cells simply cannot keep up. So again, you may be able to take it to those independent shops. They can inspect the battery. It might be one or a few cells that is causing trouble, and one or a few cells are actually quite inexpensive, the cells themselves. Just a matter of all of the labor and cost to inspect and determine and diagnose which cells are a problem. Now you can use some software called Leaf Spy as well, if you would like, to do your own kind of research with your car, and that might help you as well to have you get some better ideas of what's going on with your car. But again, those independent shops may be able to do the repair for you. And also on YouTube and other places, there are tutorials and people who are showing how they are replacing their battery cells in their car. Again, this can be very dangerous, so if you're not mechanically or electronically inclined, I would stay away from it. But if you are already, a very well-trained mechanic or person who deals with electronics, the repair is actually quite doable by the home do-it-yourselfer. So that's my advice for you if you run into those scenarios when you get those big bills handed to you by Tesla or by Nissan. I hope this was helpful to you. Feel free to leave any comments below. Maybe you could leave some advice if you ran into problems with your car and how you resolved it. If you found this video interesting or informative, I'd appreciate it if you would consider giving me a thumbs up, and also subscribe for future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.